All right, thank y'all for being here. My name is Craig McDaniel. I'm going to be talking about the best practices in collaborating with community members and the school staff today. This is Standard 2 that I'm going to be talking to you about, and on Standard 2 it's talking about ethics and professional norms. Standard 2 is effective educational leaders act ethically and according to professional norms to promote each student's academic success and well-being. Just to introduce this presentation today, we're going to talk about collaboration, best practices. We're going to talk about potential moral and legal consequences, strategies for reviewing certain dilemmas, and then we're going to talk about a few scenarios that may or may not take place. Some best practices for collaboration. One is communication. We want to maintain an open and transparent communication channels with all stakeholders to ensure that everyone is informed and involved in the decision-making process. The other one is respect. We want to treat all collaborators with respect, valuing their perspectives and contributions regardless of their role or position. The third one is confidentiality. This is a big one, and we'll get more on confidentiality here in a little bit. This is respect and uphold the confidentiality agreements with handling sensitive information about students, staff, and community members. Next, we have integrity, and that's basically acting with honesty. Inclusivity, that is diverse voices and perspectives are represented and considered in collaborative efforts. The last two are professional boundaries and accountability. For professional boundaries, we want to avoid conflicts of interest when collaborating with others. And accountability, we want to hold ourselves and each other accountable with our actions and our decisions. Some ethical considerations. For confidentiality is the importance and legal consequences of confidentiality. We want to keep everything as confidential as possible because if people start running their mouth where they're not supposed to run it, they're going to have some ethical ramifications on that end. For integrity, we want to uphold honesty and ethical behavior. And for respect, we want to avoid discrimination at all costs. Some legal considerations, same thing with confidentiality. We don't want to breach confidentiality and have to possibly go to court one day or anything like that. We want to have compliance with laws and regulations, and our professional boundaries. We want to avoid conflicts of interest. And on the moral side, we want to treat others with dignity and respect. We want to address biases and promoting equity, and we also want to balance competing interests and values on the moral side. Some strategies for you to review certain dilemmas throughout the year that you may come across is have regular training and professional development in these cases. You want to review your policy and procedures, and you want to possibly establish ethics committees and advisory groups to address these dilemmas throughout the school year. Okay, so from here we're going to talk about some confidentiality scenarios that you may face, or as a leader, as a teacher, as a stakeholder in general. Mr. R is a single male teacher that plays baseball on a local sports team. One Saturday evening, He was with teammates socializing and having a few drinks at a post-game barbecue at a local park. Later in the evening, several male and female students from his 12th grade science class arrived at the barbecue by car. They had been drinking and continued to drink at this barbecue. As the evening progressed, a very friendly rapport developed between the teacher and the students. So the first question I have here is, what possible issues or concerns might this scenario raise? Anyone?
It's going to end up on social media.
Possibility ending up on social media. Absolutely.
Legal ramifications.
Legal ramifications.
Students getting in a wreck when they leave.
Possibility of something bad happening later on in the night. Absolutely. In this situation, what are some potential negative consequences for the teacher, for the students, and the school community? Some negative. There's a lot of potential negative things that could happen here, I would imagine.
Rumors.
Lots of rumors.
And they'll get bigger and bigger as they go.
Bigger and bigger rumors as they go along. Absolutely.
Posting on social media.
Social media posting, 100%. All right. So what responses or actions will result in a more positive outcome here? Or what proactive measures might be considered here?
Let him leave.
Yeah. He should leave.
If you want to have a drink, don't do it in a public place outside.
Right.
Where anybody can show up.
And, you know, like I said, it's his time, but once students arrive and they're there.
If he's their teacher, does he have a legal obligation to do something? Because if they're underage, drinking and driving, and he sees it, does he have a legal obligation for that?
There's a possibility that there's a legal obligation he has, because he knows that they've been drinking, they're drinking there. Yeah, I would think so. So for the first question, what possible issues or concerns might this scenario raise? For one, should Mr. R be drinking in public venue or in the district where he's employed? It's probably not a great idea for him to do that, like we talked about a minute ago. Are there adults directly responsible for the students also attending this barbecue? It doesn't sound like it to me. But did Mr. R or his teammates provide any alcoholic beverages to these students? In the case, it didn't say that he did, but he knew, and they partied together. So the boundaries between the teacher and student may be blurred in a social adult situation outside the school day or calendar. And the main thing is Mr. R is probably placing himself in a position where students, parents, community might misinterpret, like social media, even well-intended actions. The potential for charges of inappropriate conduct are definitely significantly increased in this situation. All right, in this situation, what are some potential negative consequences for the teacher, for the students in the school community? We went over a good bit of it. The teacher's rapport with the students should not imply approval of behavior, sending a mixed message to those students. His behavior at the barbecue could be embellished on social media or exaggerated through rumors, through photos, videos, text messages, creating a negative image of the teacher in the community. The teacher's reputation may be permanently scarred, 100%. Under the worst circumstances, the teacher could be arrested. He could lose his job, he could lose his driver's license and his teacher's certificate for violating the law, the Code of Professional Responsibility for Educators and the public's trust. So there's a lot of negative issues that could arise from that situation right there. What responses or actions positive responses or actions could create a positive outcome. Mainly is he may not have invited the students to the barbecue, but it is his responsibility to put an end to the situation. Somebody said leave. I think, Tyler, I think you said leave. And to ensure that the students arrive home safely. Another one is the teacher should avoid drinking in public places to avoid this possibility. The teacher should also probably report the incident to the district administrators, follow-up phone calls, parents, families, and possible face-to-face meetings could be organized according to the district and the policies. All right, scenario 2, another scenario. These are more quick hitters. A parent of a student in your class has concerns about his child's relationship with another student. He asks you questions about the classmate's behavior and emotional stability. What should you do? As the teacher, what should you do in response to this parent right here?
Just tell them you cannot legally talk about another child's behavior.
Can't talk about another, it's pretty simple. Cannot talk to another parent about another student. Discussing a student with other parents should be, discussing a student with other parents would be violating that child's confidentiality. So you can discuss some problem-solving strategies with the child that the child can use in other ways that the parents can help their child at home. Scenario 3, you receive a phone call from a student's tutor. He would like to know about this child's strengths and concerns. What would you do? What should you do as the teacher? A tutor calls you, want to know about another student. Want to know about the student he's working with.
You need to ask the parent first if you can communicate with the tutor. Once again, you're talking about another child.
Exactly. She nailed it. You want to talk to the parent first. If the parent has given you written permission from the parents, you are prohibited from disclosing information to that third party. And we all consider that tutor to be a third party. Now, if he has permission, then you can talk to the tutor about anything and everything that involves that student and his strengths and weaknesses. All right, one more scenario. A math teacher and an inclusion teacher are discussing a student that they have in common. They are discussing the student's academics, behavior, and family situation. They refer to the child by name. This discussion is taking place during a busy lunch period. Are the teachers breaching confidentiality?
Yes.
They are. Why are they?
Because anyone can hear.
People can hear them.
Use name, you call them by name.
Call them by name. They're in public, and people can hear them. All right, so y'all nailed it right on the head. Yes, if there are others that can overhear their conversation, it is breaching their confidentiality. Since this discussion is taking place in a public area with a high probability of being overheard by people, the teachers may be violating the student's confidentiality. The teacher should move to a private space. So that's all that I have. Are there any questions? We're good? We're good on confidentiality? Collaboration?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.